The world is changing drastically, and it's honestly just up to us to keep up to date with it and just adapt to the new environment. I know school is very beneficial to pretty much everybody, and there's going to be aspects of life that you do learn, such as arts and sciences, technology, mathematics, but the biggest life lessons you will learn will never be in the classroom, and it's up to you to experience and learn from them on your own. If you guys have been following my channel for quite some time now, you would know I'm a big advocate for socialization and improving your social skills. And that's a huge area that you have to figure out on your own. I know that there's classes that schools offer, such as like public speaking, and while that can be beneficial, you know, you're gonna have to stand in front of your class and talk in front of an audience. That is a good way to start, but there's just so much more that you have to get exposure to on your own in order to truly improve your social skills. You know, you want to have interactions with people of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different age groups. You want to talk to kids in college, and you also want to try to get in contact with successful business owners. That way you have a better understanding of how you can interact with people regardless of the situation you're in. You don't want to be one of those people that can only talk to one demographic or one certain group of people. You want to be basically a social switchblade. You want to be able to have a good and memorable conversation with pretty much anybody you talk to. In order for you to really get there, you're going to have to get as many repetitions in as you can, and you have to get valuable conversations. You don't want to just say hi, hello to a bunch of strangers and call that a day. You know, you really want to work on it and just continue to expand and put yourself in more difficult situations as you go. I know not everybody is an extrovert, so the introverts, it's going to be more difficult for you, but don't let that stop you from at least trying. A good exercise to just start off with is go to your local mall, your local shopping center, and I want you to talk to every sales associate in about 10 different stores. You know, your goal is going to be 10 stores. I know that sounds like a lot of stores, but start off with the first one, and you're going to go to a sales associate and ask them about the newest collection, or tell them you're going on a trip to Jamaica in a week or so, and you have nothing packed and you just need help finding a wardrobe to wear there. I promise you, this sales associate is so used to just dealing with rude customers, and you know, they're most of the time they're just folding clothes and picking up hangers off the floor, that you asking them to use their creative fashion expertise is really going to make their day, and they're going to be more than enthusiastic to try to help you solve your current issue. So they're gonna, you know, they're gonna walk you around the store, show you this pair of pants, that shirt, a hat, some accessories, and your job is just to give small comments throughout the process, so they kind of know that you're acknowledging what they're saying and they're not just, you know, talking to the air. And towards the end of the conversation, you're gonna wrap it up and ask for that person's social media, ask them for their Instagram, and emphasize how you guys can be good friends in the future and how you want to maintain contact with them. They're going to remember you the next time you walk into the store, and they're going to check up on you, and you know, you can have some small talk in the future with them as well. And you know, once they handed you all the clothes, you can either check out with the clothes, or you can wait for that person to leave the facility or leave the area, and then, you know, slowly hang the clothes back up. You may not want to spend that type of money right now, or you may not even be interested in the clothes, but don't do it in front of the person, because then it looks like you just wasted their time and what they had to say to you. So after that, you're going to go to the next store and you're going to do the same thing. And you're going to go to another store after that and do the same thing. Once you get to your fourth store, to me, this is always a sweet spot. This is when things become a lot more effortless to you, and it's a lot more seamless. And you're able to have more valuable conversations with the sales associates and other workers at the store. You might even be able to group in other people's opinion from the stores. For example, you might ask the manager to chime in on their opinion, or a cashier to chime in on their opinion. And you're going to notice that you're having more confidence interacting with people that you just met or have very little connection with. And when it comes to talking in more in-depth conversations and providing more impact and giving more to the conversation, you'll be able to fulfill that. And by the time you get to your 8th store, you will be so impressed by yourself. you will see a drastic difference in your level of confidence, and you won't have anything holding you back. You're not going to have any social anxiety. You're not going to feel any sort of pressure, and you're going to want to just continue to do this. By now, you've entered your state of flow, an experience that athletes get into when they're unstoppable. When Michael Jordan is balling out, or when Lionel Messi is just playing out of his mind. It's when these great athletes, they get into this zone, and it's this ability to just play and just perform. You're not worried about anything, and it just seems like everything's going well for you. By your 8th attempt, you will be here. Promise you. And you're going to honestly want to continue, and you may not even want to stop when you hit 10 stores. You might want to do every single store at the mall that day. You've taken time to get ready, to look nice, and you've already came this far, and it's like you don't want to stop the momentum. So if that's where your head's at, by all means, just keep going. It'll definitely improve your level of socialization, and you're going to honestly notice the differences right away. And by the time you go out again, it's going to just allow you to naturally get into the state of flow even quicker. It may not even take you 8 stores this time. It might just take you 1 or 2. So it's the benefit of starting off at such a large scale is that it will inevitably shrink over time to the amount it takes for you to get to your state of flow. And once you get home, or once you finish all the stores, I want you to write down 5 sentences summarizing how each interaction went, the positives and the negatives, and then you're going to compare and contrast how you improved throughout their journey. And you want to also figure out what you need to work on and what things that you are powerful in. You want to determine what areas that you need to tweak and improve on, and then implement changes that will improve it for the next time you do this, or the next time you're just socializing. I know another area that you have to improve on is your leadership skills. I know in school settings, you're going to have to get into groups occasionally and work on group assignments. And there's always the one person that takes initiative and wants to be in charge of speaking and presenting the group's work to the class. And they also want to divide up roles and divvy them out. And while this is good, it's not enough for you to truly hit extreme levels and extreme efficiencies of leadership. I need you guys to understand that in life, you might have to become a leader in extremely critical situations when tensions are high, the pressure's on, and there's a lot at stake. For example, there could be a time where you're stuck in an elevator with a bunch of strangers, or your single mom loses her job and you have to step up to the plate. These are more extreme levels of where leadership skills need to be displayed, but you need to prepare for these as best as you can, because you never know when they will happen to you. There's so much uncertainty with life that it's just best to prepare for the worst. In order to prepare for these moments, you are going to want to start displaying active leadership whenever you can during public situations. For example, if you're in a long fast food line and you notice the customer is getting all riley and they're screaming at the workers about how it's taking them so long for their Happy Meal to get ready, you want to calm the line down. Do not be the idiot that screams at the workers and says, yeah, you guys are taking way too long, and you're just siding with the people in line. And I don't know, I see this all the time. When I used to work as a cashier and the line was longer than normal, there'd always be that one guy that just screams at us from afar and says, we're taking too long. And then they get the whole line going too, and the whole line is now on that one guy's side. And it's a bad take, and it's definitely a bad position. You don't want to be winning. You don't want to be riling on just one side. Instead, you want to have the satisfaction from both parties, both the workers and the customers. So what any smart person would do and the fast food line is you are going to calm down the line first. You're going to say out loud, like, hey, I used to work in fast food. This happens all the time. Don't be mad at them. They're just short staffed right now. They're doing the best they can. Now you've given the angry customers the attention and the explanation that they wanted. And you have also let the workers know that, hey, you're not mad at them and you understand how difficult of a job that they're doing and that you appreciate them. Now you have both sides happy. You have de-escalated the situation. The fuse is not lit anymore, and everybody can just be more peaceful and enjoy the moment. This is the ultimate key, because instead of just throwing extra fuel on the fire, you've now made both parties calmer. And by the time you get up to the line to order your food or to get your food, I promise you there will be a smile on those workers' faces. It takes more of a man to disarm the situation than to add extra fuel on the fire. By displaying acts of leadership in these lower level situations, it will prepare you best for situations that are super unpredictable and will require more leadership skills out of you. The third skill is learning how to take things professionally instead of personally. I've seen this all the time where people are either in a big friend group or they're in a huge group chat, and they see that a certain group is hanging out without them, and they're wishing that they got the invite, and they believe that those friends aren't good for them, or those friends aren't as genuine as they thought they were. And that's not how you should be looking at the situation. You have to understand that the reason you have not been invited to that group, whether it's a social group or it's for a business model, you haven't asserted enough value. You haven't shown or displaying the value that group needs. You have to understand, everyone that's at that table right now brings some sort of value. Everyone's there for a reason. And there's never a table that can't have an extra chair added. So you have to improve on yourself. You have to become a better man. You have to have more things to offer to society for people to want you in that table. It's that simple. If you truly believe that friendship with that group of people is very beneficial to your life, you need to figure out what that table is lacking or what that table is missing, so you can develop that or create some sort of remedy to their missing piece in the puzzle. Once you develop that, it's up to you to talk to that entire group. And it's important you have every member at that group present. That way nobody can not give you a vote. That way you can get everybody's opinion on you. And once you enlighten them on what you can bring to the table, if they seem interested, go more in detail on how you can help them. But if you can tell that they're still not willing to accept you or they're not showing any interest, you can't just blurt out all your talent and just throw everything out on the line. That just makes you seem very desperate, and it gives the people at the table more reason not to invite you into their circle. Even if you're offering what that team doesn't have or what that team lacks, they can still turn you down, and you have to be okay with that. But by taking things professionally, you're forcing yourself to make the most out of the situation. You're improving on yourself, and you're providing more value to the world. And even if that group is telling you no, I promise you there's another group of individuals that have noticed you improving, and they see your value and they're willing to offer you a seat at their table. By implementing these 3 tips, you are that much closer to becoming that high value man you know you can be.